Alright, I'm back. I'm going to do a UV unwrap and throw a material on this and try and make it look less like a plain plastic toy and more like a machined tidbit of sorts. First off, I'm going to just clear these other layers out by deleting them. Go ahead and cut that into layer 1 and save it as a new object. Let's see, just version 01 will be fine. Alright, so right now if I export this with no texture map on it and no I don't know if it's just a VNM or if it's a super normal. Anyways, if I try to save this out as an object, and I try to load it into SubstancePainter, it will be having this faceting problem. And those facets get baked right into the textures. You see how there's no smoothing, and you see the faceting, and we don't want this. So I'll go ahead and close this, discard. So first thing we need to do is make it so there's a VNM available. I'm going to call it the hard surface VNM. And I'm going to select it here, and we'll turn that smoothing on after we come back. I don't think it's not going to save it because we got to switch over to an object file, an OBJ file, and I don't think it's going to be there. So yeah, and when it comes back in, it's not going to have this BSDF anymore. It'll be back on standard. So I don't have. I do have the it's the tab key where you subdivide it, preview, subdivide the surfaces. I'm going ahead and leave that on while I export it, but I don't know if it, honestly don't know if it makes a difference or not. So I'm going to go ahead and save this as it is as a Lightwave object, and then I'm also going to export it, that OBJ. Now I deleted the one that we just made that I just made to show the faceting off inside of SubstancePainter. I'm going to save this into the same location. If you have had that from before, then just save over it. And then I'm going to open up RIzomUV. And I'm going to bring that OBJ file in here. It's right here. And Alt left click, Alt middle mouse, Alt right click. I am going to go to edge mode here. I'm going to start selecting edges. Control click and double click will select the entire edge. If it's not stopping and running on or whatever, it's probably because your edge loop stop at selection is not checked. Oops. So I just Control Z'd after I messed up there. Now there is this auto seams thing, which is pretty nice. It'll select, but it's going to make it only makes a half-ass selection. It's good if you're not going to be looking at this thing from a 360-degree angle, checking everything out. If you're just going to look at it from like here, you're going to see these seams in weird spots like this would. So I'm going to Control Z. But this would, just real quick, I guess, show you, unwrap it, and it'll make everything for you real quick. And then you can just real fast export a halfway decent UV job, but I'm going to undo that. Double click. I'm going over here and I'm going to select manually the edges that I want. For my UVs. I'm just Control double clicking. And if you mess up and select something, oops, just Control Shift click it. And if you do accidentally deselect everything, before doing anything else, just Control Z, bring it back where you were. Alright, so I want these corners. Anything that goes around at like a 90-degree edge, you should probably split. Unless it's in an area you're not too worried about. That you don't think you're going to be seeing much of, or at all. Alright. I choose to put the seam at the top here because it's least likely to be seen from above. this one here. Alright, so almost think I'm gonna do this thing too. Oh, what's this? Alright, we're almost done unwrapping it up. Let's see here. Oh, don't forget the cutouts on the side. Not too shabby. Don't ask me why it decided to select that whole thing but not that whole thing. I have no idea why. It seems like all applications have some mind of their own on where the end of perfect circle is, or other different types of geometry situations, geometrical situations. It does it over here too. Alright, so what do we think here? Looks alright. I'm going for it. Alright, so now that I have this, I'm going to unfold it. Oh wait, no, I gotta cut it first. Yeah, hit the cut button. And then I can unfold it. And it already arranged it in there for me and everything. These are not perfect circles. Let's see if I can optimize it a little more. Looks like something is cut across there. I think I am going to add, I'll just Control Z back to where it was here. I'm going to add a couple of edges here. Does that look right? On this outside edge here. Oh, and this is probably a big doozy. This one, oops. Here. Yeah. Maybe that's why it was being wonky. Go back to cut. And undo it here. Yeah, that looks much better. Good circles there, like I wanted. Alright, that's it. And then I can export this. And I'm going to put it right where it was. Make sure that you have your OBJ enabled and nothing else enabled. And just hit export. And there it is, exported, the exported file. I'm just going to rename this to 2, version 2. And be easier for me to remember. And then I'm going to reopen that in Lightwave. Close Rhizome. Or I'll just do that later. It's okay back there. Alright, let's see if our map is there. And there it is. So, I don't really need this in here yet. What I need to do next is open up SubstancePainter. Because now these UVs are going to be available to SubstancePainter. And it'll help put the materials on it in a much nicer, organized fashion. That was number 2 there. And you'll see there's the maps right there. Now, let me see something here. Did I lose that? Vertex Normal is there. Maybe I'll close Substance. Or let me see. Make mesh. Go ahead and make mesh maps. I want them to be, I'm just going to do 2048. And it's still looking pretty faceted there. Maybe I should let's see how a wood texture looks on here real good. Now, I'm going to close this. I'm going to save over that object 2. I'm going to do it as an object 3 from Lightwave with the making sure that the surface has that Vertex Normal selected. Smoothing on. I'm going to hit tab for preview. Then I'm going to save this real quick. And then I'm going to export the OBJ again. I'm going to call this one 3. And this is going to be the version 3 is the one I'm going to open in SubstancePainter. I didn't have to do all that. All I need to do is, when I export out of here, I gotta make sure it turns smoothing back on. So, I'm going to bake these real quick. And just ignore that it looks faceted in here. But it comes out of here faceted if you don't use those VNMs. And you don't want that, so you gotta have that applied to your model. And I'm going to do that wood material again because I liked it. That looks pretty good. Now I'll go ahead and export textures. I'm going to export them to the default location because it's going to let me open up the folder at the end. So go ahead and make sure you got your normal and your document channels. There's a bunch here. That's the one I use, and it seems to be alright for Lightwave. I'm going to export. I'm going to open that folder. I'm going to cut those textures that it made in there. And I'm going to paste them into the image folder of the directory I'm working in. I'll go ahead and go back to Lightwave here. And I just needed those textures, so I got the map and everything. I'm going to change this over to BSDF. Go into my nodes, delete the standard, and minimize this guy. Go up here and I'm going to make 4 images. Control copy, Control V, Control V, Control V. And I need a normal map. I'm going to stick this up here. I'm going to put this bumpy down here. Put the color here. Luma to roughness and Luma to metallic, I do believe. And go ahead and switch all these to that map. I could have done this and then copy pasted them all except for the normal map. Might have been a little quicker. And then go back here. Start loading up stuff from that images folder. This is my base color. This is my roughness, just where I hooked them up. So roughness. This one was metallic. This bump will be height. This will be my normal. I don't really know about the difference between OpenGL normal and the regular normal here, but I'm going with the OpenGL because I know Lightwave is good with OpenGL. Plays nice with it anyway. Alright, so I'm going to turn that specular down. Not so specular. I'm going to just hit my 0 key on the number pad to kind of look at this up close, and it looks like I don't see any weird, pieces in the wood that are just not doing what they're supposed to be. And I do have my tab key pressed where it's the subdivide preview, and I don't see any warping. Maybe if I zoom in, let me look and see if I zoom in. Yeah, it doesn't. I guess there's a little bit of stretch there, but it's not bad. But I'm going to turn it off actually and just go with that. And then smoothing's on here already. You do see an edge here that I don't remember selecting that edge. So 0 key to get back. I'm going to look and see. Yeah, it's like right in the middle of. That's weird. It's not. Yeah, I guess it is. No, I don't know. It does look like there's a seam there. Very strange. Alright, well I'm going to save this. Version 2 is fine. And I'm going to open that up in Layout. And it looks pretty good there. Go to VPR. You don't see that faceting. And believe me, without that using that VNM, and I don't know if that has anything to do with the supernormals or not. You press supernormals. It's messing with. I think you can mess with it using this supernormals tool, but as far as I can tell, just creating the new VNM allows you to allow SubstancePainter to not. I think it has to do with the ambient occlusion or something, but not paint these facets into the texture over here, which looks bad, but it looks like there's something going on there. Is that on both sides? Huh. Well, what if I go and do like a metal on here or something? I'm going to delete this. And Control Z everything actually in here. And drag it on from scratch. I'm just going to go ahead and export these maps. Do the same thing as I did before. Should be able to just cut, Control X. Paste right over the other ones. Control V. Replace. Go back in here. And bam. Oh no, look, it's faceted. It's got them darn facets. Oh. No, that's baked in, them dang facets are. See what happens if I use a regular material. Doesn't look like it's there on this one. Let's see what happens if I export this and try it. Cut, paste, replace, Yeah, that did it. Maybe it has something to do with the materials you're using. I still got like a... What happens if I hit my sub patch? That smoothed it out pretty good. Well, you might have to troubleshoot a little bit. I'm just trying to get your foot in the door here on what is possible and potential. Yeah, it still looks pretty good. Didn't take too long. Well, I hope this helps somebody out there. Enjoy.